My name is Samin Bhatt.
My name is Adeyinka Mendes.
My name is Ismail Isa.
Am a second generation Pakistani American. Both my parents immigrated here. My father came in the 70s as a student, and my mother came in the 80s after she got married to him. I am the eldest of 4 siblings. Grew up in Hightstown, New Jersey. Attended all of my schooling in the East Windsor School District, and then I went to Rutgers University for my undergraduate degree in exercise science and kinesiology. And I currently work as a program director for a care coordination nonprofit based in Trenton, New Jersey, serving uninsured individuals with healthcare.
I've been in America since 2013. I've been working at the Muslim Center of Greater Princeton since September 2018, actually. So I've been here almost for a year.
I currently serve as the Imam, or religious leader and resident scholar at the Muslim Center of Greater Princeton in Central New Jersey.
Islam to me means peace. Islam, well, that's the literal meaning of it, but Islam is about being a good human being, and for me that's always been what my teachers, what my parents, what elders in my community have taught me, is that whatever is the definition of being a good human being is the definition of being a good Muslim. There is no two ways about it. If you are not a good human being, it's not possible to be a good Muslim.
Islam is a spiritual path to God that is based upon following the guidance and wisdom of the gracious Quran and the teachings, the wise teachings of Prophet Muhammad, God bless him and grant him peace, who lived over 1,000 years ago.
What I can define Islam, actually what God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has defined the Quran, in the Quran, saying that Islam is peace, and to submit yourself into peace, and it is submission to God, that everything can belong to God, and to live a life in a way that pleases God.
When September 11th happened, when the tragedy of September 11th happened, I was 26 years old.
I was 9 years old when 9/11 happened, when the Twin Towers fell. I was probably in my second week of 4th grade. I was a 4th grader at Perry Drew School in the East Windsor School District, and I don't know if it was a conscious decision by the staff, but we weren't informed as students of what happened. I kind of found out when my mom, who had stopped picking me up from school by that time, because I lived right around the corner from the school, so I would walk home. And by 4th grade, I was allowed to walk home by myself. And she came to pick me up, and she started talking about my father being home, who worked across the Hudson River in Newark, and you could see the towers falling from his building. I think it hit even more home when I slowly started understanding what was happening. My mom explained to me what happened, and then we were watching TV that night, and on the news we saw one of my parents' oldest friends, like my oldest family friends. I saw the father figure of that family. I saw him run across the TV, and that really hit home, and I was like, oh man, something, like, my people are under attack. And when I say my people, I mean like Americans. And yeah, it was weird. It was, I mean, you can only process so much when you're 9. Yeah, it was a difficult pill to swallow. I do remember people making comments, and I do remember that the teacher never said anything to kind of stop them. It was actually this kid in my class sat next to me, and his father, or his biological father, was Muslim, but he was in a divorced family, so his stepfather and his mother were not Muslim. But he was like, as a little fourth grader, he's like, hey guys, stop being mean to her, that's not nice. So yeah, I think, people started reacting a little differently when they would find out. And all this is when I didn't wear a scarf publicly. I was, had my normal hair out and everything. I think things started getting, like, my treatment was different a little bit when we, as the United States, entered into Iraq during, the war on weapons of mass destruction.
But there were some people who their racism and their xenophobia, sometimes students in college and sometimes faculty, and administrators were very intolerant, very hateful, sometimes with their speech, sometimes with their actions towards me and others. So I did experience my share of what people now call Islamophobia, which I think is just another form of racism and xenophobia.
After that, like, I had this one kid off of my bus was like, oh, you're Saddam's daughter.
Recently was when I was in Europe. I think I was in Germany or one of the northern European countries, maybe Netherlands or Denmark. And I went through this security check, and they found, apparently they claim they found traces of some explosive powder, which I have no idea how there would be anything like that in my luggage. And all of a sudden, a bunch of military personnel come with automatic weapons and surround me, so that was a bit unsettling. But they found nothing. They searched. They opened my bag. They searched it.
So I started wearing a scarf, and assuming the hijab, which is the scarf, and the decision to cover my body in its entirety. I started it when I was 19 years old, so it was after my first year of college. And it's ironic that the one time where I did face it was actually twice I faced it. Once I faced it in my hometown, and I think I stopped at a stoplight for like 2 seconds longer than it turned green, and this guy started saying racist things, and I was like, okay, bye. And I just drove off. The other time was I was visiting a friend, and I parked in front of his house, instead of my friend's house because there was no parking there, and he was taking out garbage, and he was intentionally aiming it at my car. So obviously I ran back and I moved my car.
Who attends high school, I think that the issue of Islam is not really discussed at all. There's always an eerie silence. When I'm around, there's always people being very cautious of me. You wear a physical symbol upon your head that distinguishes you from the rest of your peers, and so all eyes are on you, and your actions are taken account for the entire religion instead of your own actions.
When you hear the term like Muslim or Islam, like people think of straight to like terrorism or like, I'm calling 9/11. It's like I know personally, like when 9/11 comes and like we're in school, like I feel ashamed, and I'm like, I have no reason to be ashamed because like this isn't my fault.